Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Micheal Stewart. He just came back a week ago from the Philly regionals. He made top 16 with Inzektors, so we're going to go ahead and do the deck profile and then we'll get into the details later.
Okay, 1 Inzektor Hopper, 1 Inzektor Hornet, 3 Inzektor Ladybug, 3 Inzektor Centipede, 1 Inzektor Dragonfly, 1 Giga-Mantis, 1 Armageddon Knight, 1 Cardcar, and 3 Maxx. And that's it for the monsters. For the spells, we have 1 Imitation, 2 Inzektor Sword, 1 Foolish Burial, 3 Pot of Duality, 3 Upstart Goblin, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, and 1 Book of Moon. And then we have 12 traps, or 11 traps. It's 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Bottomless, 1 Compulse, 3 Vanity's Emptiness, 3 Fiendish Chain, and 2 Call to Hop.
Let's take a look at the side deck.
Sure. For the side deck, we have 3 Twister, 1 Dimensional Fissure, 1 The Transmigration Prophecy, 1 Soul Drain, 3 Iron Wall, 2 Mirror Force, 2 Wabaku, 1 Malevolent Catastrophe, and 1 Trap Stop. And here is the extra deck. 1 Armored Kappa, the only rank 2. Play 4 rank 3s, 1 Leviathan Dragon, 1 Acid Golem, 1 Leviair, and 1 Zektkaliber. Then for the rank 4s, we should have 4 as well. 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Cowboy, 1 Master Key Beetle, and 1 Bottomless. Then we have 4 rank 5s. We have 1 Volcasaurus, 1 Shark Fortress, 1 Tyrus, 1 Exostag, and then we play 1 rank 6, which is Beetle, and then the Gaia Charger for the rank 7. And that's it for the deck.
Alright. So, you want to talk about how you did at Philly?
Philly was good. I played 1 Blackwing, 2 Evil Swarm, and 6 Dragons, so it was all dragons all day.
Okay.
The deck actually has a really good dragon matchup. You just try to master key a continuous trap or just lock them down with those, vanity stun them, and then the deck OTKs real easily once you get your setup.
Any plays that were really interesting?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, after you play Inzektors for a while, you start to understand they're all pretty similar. I mean, there was one game I made the Beetle Giga-Mantis play, where I already used a Giga-Mantis, and then it was able to climb up to Beetle and recycle Giga-Mantis. But other than that, I lost to 1 dragon. It was Dragunity Rulers. He had really good, he got to go first, had a good opening game 1. It was a bit of a grind, but he won it, and then game 2, I took him down in game 3. He just opened crazy well. And then I lost to 1 Evil Swarm, and it was, he did have Rabbit in the first 2 turns, both games, but it was really game 1, I was too slow to my setup, and game 2, I didn't draw a single monster all game. We were I was 16 or 17 cards in, and I just drew no monster. It was pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. So what was your final record?
It was 7-2.
And you made 14th place.
Yeah, 14th place. So it was a good day. Didn't make top 8, so I didn't get all the special prizes, but did really well. I will say this to anybody playing is that in round 8 we did have a discrepancy, and this is why you always want to write down your life points, is because a kid game the guy claimed we only played 2 games after I won game 3. I won game 2 and 3, and he claimed that we only played 2 games and we need to continue, and so we had to get the judges over. And they saw we had 3 separate scores for 3 separate games, both of us adding up. So that was a whole mess. But you always want to write down and not use a calculator.
So when you were constructing the deck, did you have any like tough choices to make? Anything you wanted to put in or like things to take out?
I mean, the whole point of this deck is because anybody that knows Inzektors, they can dictate pace. They can control. You slowly pop things and keep hand control, or you can go for an OTK. So you can speed up, slow down, and that's why I really like the deck. So my goal was to keep it as thin as possible and to keep it as consistent. There are a lot of draw 1 or draw 2 cards in the deck. Like you have 1 Cardcar, 3 Duality, 3 Upstarts, 3 Maxxs, which are essentially just draw 1 cards in the deck to get to another. So you're really playing with about a 30 card deck size when it comes down to it. I did play Imitation because I wanted to get to Dragonfly a little easier, or a Centipede. But the problem is that it's good if you have Ladybug, but other than that, it's really not consistent. So I found myself, no matter what deck I played, I always sided it out game 2 and never brought it back in.
Ready's good.
Hold on. Do you want me to ask about anything else? D-Fisher is pretty normal. This isn't.
I mean, yeah, you don't side in D-Fishes if you play the Imperial Iron Walls, right?
I've done that before.
You've done it?
Dude, I haven't. It's worked. It's so funny. It's just like
really?
backup. Yeah, it's weird.
Wait,
No,
well, I mean, but like, it's like, if you have Iron Wall face up, then you wouldn't, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
If you have D-Fisher face up, you wouldn't use the Iron Walls.
Exactly.
So if they MSC the Fisher, then you do the Iron Wall, because it stops the deck.
It's similar how they both stop similar decks. But I don't side D-Fisher versus Dragon. I mean, you can get that out. Because turn 1 is great.
Yeah.
But past that, it's...
That's true.
And like, people don't even realize, even with Ravine, they can still send. Because it's an effect. So they can just start banishing their dragons and search that way.
Yeah. It's kind of bad. It does eat up their resources a lot faster.
I mean, it does that, but if they have like, if they have the return, they're just gonna
they're gonna come back and be like, I win.
Yeah.
Okay.
So but it doesn't prevent cycling. While they have to send them to grave. It's different with Iron Wall. It's like they still can't use it to search. They still sit in the graves. Like you follow up, because when you Iron Wall and they get rid of this, you follow it with Soul Drain. Yeah. It's so much better because they deplete their hand for the sake of the graveyard. So by the time they deplete their hand, you've hit them with Soul Drain.
They're pretty much locked out.
Yeah. I mean, if Soul Drain was actually, if Soul Drain was at 3, I wouldn't even play D-Fisher. Because Soul Drain doesn't negate my sword, it only negates the monsters.
Yeah, right.
So it just negates the Giga-Mantis play.
Yeah. That's kind of a big play though.
I mean, screw it, just go with the swords, the step-by-step one.
Yeah, right. So, you play the 3 MSTs and then you play you side 3 Twisters.
Yeah, I mean,
so
the big thing about Twisters is when you understand the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, you're going to play more games 2 and 3 than you're going to play game 1. And whenever they side against you are usually continuous traps to try to steal games from you. Because that's what continuous traps do, is they flip.
So I guess Decree for you, and what else?
Decree, Skill Drain are 2 big ones for dragons.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Decree, Skill Drain, and then even then it still hits some of their...
Ravines.
Yeah, it still hits Ravines, hits some of their cards like that.
So
some guys
you keep the 3 MSTs, and how much Twisters do you side in?
I mean, now, in the tournament, I've sided 3 versus everybody.
Really? So you 3 MST, 3 Twisters.
Yeah, and it's so good, because even though you may not think so, you can use these offensively. Like one time, I attacked a guy who dropped a Swift, and I left the Giga-Mantis floating on the Dragonfly, and I had another, and then he tried to come back over to top, but at the start step of his battle phase, I was able to Twister the Giga-Mantis off to like 2 more Ladybugs, so even though he came back over to top, he came over, then on my turn I just went Giga-Mantis equipped to 1 Ladybug, Hornet to the other, bring back the Dragonfly, and OTK at them. Yeah. So you can use Twisters in creative ways with the deck. The one Malk had.
How is that working for you?
It's great. I mean, you chain it on top. You chain it with Mirror Forces and the Wabaku when you side it in.
Yeah.
It is great if you have like Centipede, Ladybug start, and you get a sword, equip it to the Centipede, then they attack, you play like Wabaku, then Malcat, then wipe the field. And then and then at that point you have your OTK pretty much
set up. You get your plus.
Because you get the extra search off the sword, and then you'll get the search your turn with the Centipede, and then
you destroy their whole back row. I mean, do people overextend a lot? Like, they don't expect it, right, when you use it?
Yeah, I mean, people...
Has anyone expected you to use this?
I mean, it's always an unexpected card right now. It's going to become more meta. People are going to start main decking it some, but it's going to be a heavy-duty side card. I mean, that's why there's some changes I would definitely make. But, I mean, Malcat... It's good, just no heavy storm. Everybody wants to set like 4 back row if they have it. Yeah. And just make it pay. I never side it for striking, so just because it's too slow. I want to end phase MST pop, like the 6
or twisters are just way better.
Or hit their ravine. It doesn't stop anything thereafter.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, if you had to pick the best side deck card, it was definitely Transmigration Prophecy. That's a German one, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah. Every time I flipped it, I won the game. Oh, what? I was playing Dragunity Rulers. I didn't win the match, but game 2, the play was he summoned the ducks, he Tempested, pitching the flanks to go grab the, I forget what you call it, but the level 6 one that special summons itself from hand. And then he went normal summon ducks. I went Fiendish Chain. And then, he saw that comment, so he just went the other one, targeting the flanks, and then I flip it, send back flanks and Tempest. He's out of dragons and out of synchro plays, and then it just ruined him because he depleted 2-3. He really played like 4 cards to set up that play, and it all got beaten by Transmigration Prophecy.
This card's really good.
Yeah, I'm going to start main decking it. It stops so many different plays. I mean, some decks I wouldn't play it against, but it has a play versus every deck.
Right.
I mean, it can even help you versus Evil Swarms if they try to hit the Kirkion plays. Yeah. And it stops Hysterics on for Harpies.
That's true too.
I would no longer play the Imitation.
Didn't work out?
No, I mean, it's good. It's just I found myself, like, there are some cards I would always rather have. And since it's supposed to help there's a contingency, I'd rather play a basic trap. I'm actually, if I take it out, the change I'd make is I would main deck Transmigration Prophecy and take out Insect Imitation, because this card always has its effect without another card. Yeah. Even though it's defensively more than offensively, I would always keep it in.
So, on that topic, any changes since the week?
I mean, there are a lot of changes. Anytime you come back and you don't make any changes to your Yu-Gi-Oh deck, either means you weren't paying attention or you won everything. You did really well.
Yeah.
But over Trap Stun, I would probably play 7 Tools of the Bandit.
Why 7 tools?
Because 7 tools negates their Trap Stun. I can't,
Yeah.
Let's say I set my 3 or 4 or whatever, and I pass to a Dragon player, and he flips 6 cents. And I want to trap stun it before he flips return, then even if I eat that card, I prevent myself from making any plays for that turn.
That's true.
7 tools can stop it. Also, guys are going to start siding in more Divine Mass and stuff, which I never had an issue with, but just plays like that. And it's a counter trap, it's harder to react to.
Yeah,
so if they go like 6 cents, you go trap stun, and then they chain MST. They can't do that with the 7 tools play.
Yeah, they can't. 1,000 life points is worth it.
I mean, down to 1 vanities, just because Master Key isn't as good with Phoenix Wingwind Blast being everywhere. It breaks all the locks that he comes in with. Vanity's still a good card. I would still main deck too, but it's just not the end-all be-all ever since people have learned about it and learned how to play around it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then other stuff are just like goofy things. Like I would probably try to side deck. I would like to work in a Phoenix Wingwind Blast, still working on that one. Probably side deck a Dark Hole at some point, just for weird decks. It's not necessary to play it. It's still a good card though, there's nothing against Dark Hole, but I would like to try to work in Mistake somehow. Just because if they banish 2 dragons, a special summon one. If you flip this, if you flip a Vandy's, they still get the 2 search, keep it in hand. There's no minus, it just stalls.
Yeah.
But this penalizes them if they don't have the MST. It's kind of like Transmigration Prophecy. It turns 2 of their colors off.
Yeah.
And it's splashable versus many decks. It only sucks if you have Centipede, Ladybug, and no Hornet. Because if you use Centipede to pop your own mistake, you can turn off your own mistake.
Yeah.
But with Centipede, Ladybug, you can't keep cycling.
Yeah, that's
That's so. I mean, that's what I'm trying to work on it. But it's a good card. Just because it flips, it not only can stall a lot of decks like spellbooks, and but it penalizes them a card or 2 cards depending on how they play it.
definitely.
I didn't play any spellbooks, thank goodness. They're the worst deck to play against with this deck. The banish.
I think they're falling off the, I guess, meta, kind of.
I mean, it was all dragons. All dragons all day. I played 6 dragon decks. I 2-0'd 4 of them. Just 2-0. I mean, none of them were good players, to be fair. Dragon's decks are one of those weird decks where if you flip some cards, you can just win just because the cards are so good. It can make bad players look real good. But I mean, it exists. There are ways around it. It's definitely a good deck. I don't know if they'll hit it. But this is why I play it. It had a decent matchup against it. So, I mean, that's pretty much it.
You also did really well at, so last week was regionals, and 2 weeks ago there was like a box tournament that you topped in.
Oh yeah, I topped at the box tournament.
And that was like, what, how many people?
How many?
I don't know, 80?
It was something like that, 80 or something people. I mean, it's a good deck. Inzektors have, I mean, it's a combination pieces deck. What people don't realize, think of it as playing Exodia, except for Exodia.
Exodia?
No, it's like playing Exodia because you're really searching for 3 cards while Exodia searches for 5. The difference is once you get your 3, you have to make the OTK. You have to play.
Yeah.
Exodia, once you get your 5, you win. But that's really all the deck. It's a search for pieces. Once you get your pieces, you win.
All right, thank you, Stuart. See you at Nats, hopefully this year.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be there this time.
All right, see you later. Thank you.
Don't you turn it off?
I do.